What if I tell you you don't have to prepare for 20-30 questions for an interview? All you have to do is just prepare 5 to 6 questions and you will definitely nail your situational or an HR round interview. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Career Cocktail, and today we are going to learn how to think like an interviewer and predict your interview questions. So how does that really go? Don't think that situational questions come in from anywhere randomly. They are in the company system. Right? Coming from an HR background, I know how these questions are actually made. So they really come from values of a company. So value becomes behaviors, and that is why the situational questions are trying to understand your behavior towards certain situations. So it'll really be very smart of you if you're able to track the question, understand the question, and accordingly answer by knowing that what kind of value they are assessing from that particular question. Right? Let's go with an example. Let's say the company value that you are appearing for, one of those values is customer focus. So the question would not be, are you a customer focused person or something around those lines? The question would be, describe a situation when you handled a difficult customer, or describe a situation when you went ahead and did something beyond your real duties and went an extra mile to deliver something for your customer. Let's say the value is integrity. In that case, the question would be, tell me about a time when you chose between what's right and what's the easy thing, or what the herd was actually doing, right? Or tell me about a time when you challenged a process, existing process or a system. Let's say the value is ownership. In that case, the kind of questions that would come in your way would be, tell me about a time or describe a situation when you handled a process end to end and delivered results. Yeah, or tell me about a time when you had a tricky stakeholder to manage. Right? So now that you are clear around how questions are made from such values, let us look into a live example. Let us actually right now go to a company's website and understand the values. So if you see, let it load. Yeah. So if you see, it's very clearly available in the section, the kind of values that the company has and some of the behaviors that they have within the company. So it can also, by the way, go with the name of values. In this case, it's going with the name of behaviors. So value, behavior, principles, anything. Notice these business principles, how they are exactly on the similar lines to what we discussed. So let's take a question around customer focus. Tell me about a time when you handled a difficult customer. So how not to answer it would be, so I was handling an airline account with a software company, and at that time we were given a project on SSR implementation, wherein the requirement from the client kept changing. As they kept changing, it was very difficult to meet the timeline, and the team was following and facing a lot of challenges. We tried to mitigate the challenges and spoke to the customer around it. Finally, we were able to deliver the results in a timely manner. So you see, although this question was answered in a star format, but it still had more than one problem. Number one, it had an abbreviation. Your answer cannot have abbreviations. The interviewer may not be from the same industry from where you are giving that example from. Right? I said airline industry as an example, and probably the interviewer does not know. So he doesn't know what is SSR or the code that I mentioned. So no abbreviations. Number two, you have to give a lot of details so that your answer is trustworthy, and there is a lot of credibility that you bring in by making that answer with a lot of details. So just remember that your example should be very detailed, but still within that structure and not increasing by more than 90 seconds. So that doesn't have an abbreviation, and if possible should be a recent example, not more than 18 months old, right? So now let's get into the correct way or the ideal way of handling such a question. We will also be ensuring that the result section in the star model has some number or some quantification, so that it really gives that kind of a good impression on how things ended. Just by saying that we were able to deliver in a timely fashion, or we could deliver it on the agreed timeline. Not just that. Let us reiterate that, and let's see how we can make it better. Yeah, and as I say this answer, just see and pick up how I'm mentioning S, T, A, and R, the star, right? So let's go with it. Let's give it a shot. So I was working in an airline account for a software company when the project at hand was to deliver a new service request code for that particular airline. The project started really well, but midway sometime the client kept changing the requirement and the whole request categorization, which hampered the whole timeline. We wanted to ensure that we meet clients' expectations and also stay on the kind of timeline that we had. We also wanted that there is a lot of clarity within the team and there are not any challenges per se from them. So, what I did was I took a step back. I set up some time with the client to understand the kind of challenges that they have. Is it because of the internal challenges or some operational misalignment? Number two, I gave them a framework, a fluid framework, which ensured that the main criteria or a main set of things get implemented first and the change requests are taken later. That ensured a lot of scalability and a scalable solution for the client. Number three, I documented everything that we had discussed on all the criteria and finally were able to meet the kind of demand. As a result, we were able to meet the timeline. We were also able to reduce the change requests that come in by a 30%, and that whole scalable solution could last for other set of requests as well. So you see what we did and how it was in contrast with what we had attempted earlier. It did have a lot of detail so that if the person is not from the same industry, they still understand. Number two, we did not use any abbreviations. Number three, we ensured that we were within 90 seconds somewhere. We also ensured that in the results, we use some numbers to stay connected with the kind of interviewer expectations. Yeah, so while we followed STAR, the interviewer also knows this framework and they were probably kind of expecting the answer in the same framework, right? So that's how we attempt a question, and we will be using more such examples. In fact, I'll be making one video on exclusively on the star model, and in fact I never give star model. I have a better model which I will talk about in my next upcoming videos. So if you like this video, hit like and do comment. If you want me to cover any other particular company and you want me to put their or come up with their values from their website and accordingly make questions, let me know and I will do that. So subscribe to my channel Career Cocktail if you like the content and keep coming back for more such videos. Thank you.